Welcome back. It's August. I'm waiting for a crew of guys to show up to replace the gutters. We had the roofing replaced and the siding of the house of the hotel replaced, and then they're going to come back and do the final part today, the putting in the gutters and all that. So I'm not feeling that great this morning, but I thought I would start continue working on organizing in here while I wait for these guys to show up. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, I'm a little dizzy. So when I you know, it, someone was telling my wife, and maybe it's low blood sugar or low blood pressure or something, but I've been dizzy the last 2 days. Um, but I have high blood pressure, not low blood pressure, so I don't know what's going on. I'm talking to absolutely nobody. There's zero people watching. It's early. Is it even 7 o'clock? Let's see here. 7:26. Well, we got stuff to do, so let's get started. Keeping my voice down a little bit because my wife's asleep. She has been doing, well, I have a GoFundMe going. Man, what I didn't realize is that I think the GoFundMe address seems to change every day. So when I put up a video and I show this is the GoFundMe address, and then the contributions kind of stop. I think it's because the GoFundMe address changes. I don't know how that works, but anyway, if you want to support the Karate Orloff Network, if you're a loyal viewer and want to kick in a little bit of money, it might really help for medical bills or whatever. A lot of stuff going on. Okay, so let's get started. We have one viewer. Boy, are we a social media influencer or what? Okay, so I pulled down another box of comics that let's see, this box has the later run of Marvel 2-in-1 comic book where the Thing teamed up with a different superhero each month. Gotham City Comics says, hello, good morning, man. It must be 5:30 in Arizona where he's watching. This crew should show up any minute. They're supposed to be here between 7 and 9. They're an Amish crew, and the Amish tend to be very much on time or early. You know, sometimes the first time they came, they showed up like at 6 in the morning. Okay, so what am I trying to do here? Oh, okay. I have Metal Men was one of the coolest 1960s comics. They stopped publishing it. They brought it back during the 20-cent era as reprints of the 60s stuff. So this is a 20-cent early Bronze Age reprint of Metal Men, number 44. It's not in the best shape, but this is going to be put in with my Bronze Age Metal Men. Silver Age Metal Men are back here. Let's see. Marvel Universe. I guess this is my oldest copy of Master of Kung Fu, number 18. This was a comic I didn't buy back in the 70s. I did in the later 70s during the Paul Galassi period. I was buying it, but when I was a little kid in the Yeah, this probably came out when I was in fourth grade. I wasn't into this comic, and there were a lot of great comics on the stands, so this was just one. I wasn't really into kung fu. Although if I'd been older and had actually seen a kung fu movie, which is this is kind of based on the Bruce Lee movies, then I probably would have liked them. But kung fu was just there was a TV show called Kung Fu that started, I think, in 1972 with David Carradine. I never watched that, but I was aware of it from reading the parodies of Kung Fu and Mad and Cracked. But yeah, the Kung Fu craze kind of just went over my head in the 70s. Now I appreciate it. And the comic was cool in that it was, he was the son of Fu Manchu, Shang-Chi. And everybody, well, not that I knew that many people that I could talk about Shang-Chi with, pronounced it Shang-Chi. And there was a really terrible movie that came out a few years ago. And then the hero, several points during the movie, lets everyone know it's pronounced Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi. You got to pronounce it right. It's like Kamala versus Kamala or whatever she's calling herself this week. Was everybody really kung fu fighting? Well, that song, Kevin's a little bit younger than me. That song was on the radio constantly. Constantly. Every time you turn on the radio, you would hear Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas. Or The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. That was another big song that was on the radio constantly. And the Carpenters, man, they were great. Um, yeah. Well, I've researched my question yesterday about the lyrics of California Dreaming, the Mamas and Papas song. So it was written in 1963, and then the Mamas and Papas, it was written by Michelle Phillips, or at least she wrote the lyrics. And then it was written in 63. It was recorded in 65. Uh, well, Barry McGuire was given the song. He didn't write it, and he recorded a version with the Mamas and Papas as the backing vocals. Michelle Phillips being the one that wrote the song. And if you listen to that, he really does say, I pretend to pray." Because I always heard I began to pray, but it's apparently so. Anyway, here's the deal. So the record company said, I like the backing vocals, but Barry McGuire's not right for the song. So they stripped him off the recording and just used the original background vocals and had John Phillips do a new main vocal track. Mich- um, Mama Cass sang, this is according to my research, she did sing on the recording, I began to pray. And then for a while in concert, she would sing, I began to pray. And her voice was very dominant. You could really hear it. But then Michelle Phillips said, no, you're not singing it right. I wrote the lyrics, I pretend to pray. So she started singing that, which I think the song works a lot better. I began to pray. I like it more as a spiritual song. It's the other one. I pretend to pray. It's like, oh no, don't say I began to pray because we want to be dirty, filthy, drug addict, Marxist hippies. So we want to say I pretend to pray because that's and that hurts the song. In my humble opinion, still a great song, but all two of you watching. Okay. Master of Kung Fu. Yeah, all these Master of Kung Fu comics that I have were obtained later. Um, the other thing that was really big there around that time was streaking. That was huge. And they even had magazines that came out, streaking magazines. Unbelievable. Master of Kung Fu. Okay, here's Metal Men. Okay. So it looks like Metal Men came back with issue 42. So it says they're back. I have two copies of 42. I have 43. And wouldn't you know it, I already have 44. So got this box out just to file the duplicate. When I have duplicates, sometimes it's good to put a duplicate just in this. I think I'm going to put this duplicate into the spinner rack because I got a few holes in the spinner rack. Okay, so that's 44. I don't know about 40. I don't have 45, but 46, they'd started new stories. They weren't just reprinting the 60s anymore. And there's 47. You can tell that's a Walt Simonson cover. I, yeah, little man. Okay, here's 48. We're up to about 1977 here. 53. That was a contest, so you could be in a crowd scene in the Superman movie. 55. And I this is a recent comic, and by recent it could be 10 years old. It's the first issue of a 12-issue series, and that's the only one I've got of that series. Uh, I much prefer the 60s incarnations of these characters. Mighty Mouse. Oh, let's look at Millie the Model. Oh, look at this, Milton Knight. Milton Knight's been on my show a couple of times. I've interviewed him a few times. I understand he had a really bad fall recently and knocked out his front tooth and really messed himself up and wound up in the hospital. I don't know if he fell downstairs, but I saw him talking about that. So I'm, you know, wishing him a speedy recovery. Here's Millie the Model, 197. And here's a reproduction comic. Another, and I guess I have two copies of 197. I wonder why that is. 202. This is really a great comic. I mean, it in the 60s it was drawn more realistically, and then at this point in the early 70s they were trying to make it look like trying to make it look like an Archie comic. And I think to any unsophisticated little girl, I've got two copies of that issue too. I think I'll put this one in the spinner rack. And I got this Minutemen because it has a Darwin Cook cover. That Warlock that wrote Watchmen was not happy when DC started to take those Watchmen characters and do new stories with them. That was Alan Moore. Let's see. Okay, so I've got to put these books. I'm not feeling well, man. I'm really, the last 2 days, I've been really dizzy. Um, oh, okay, what is going on here in Gotham City? Mike Allred has a Plastic Man cover coming out in a few weeks. Please put that in my pile. That's probably It's 3 feet tall right now. And that Betty and Me cover, yikes, comes out today. Okay, if you could get me the next order I make from you, I'll get the Betty and Me, and I'll get the Plastic Man Police Comics number whatever facsimile, and I want to get that Atlas book that reprints the science fiction stories and something else. Whenever I get clearance that we're out of this financial, soon, hopefully soon. Right now, soon. Yeah, the Archie, what he's referring to, Betty and Me, one of the Archie comics. Archie's starting to do facsimiles, and they chose the first one not to be something from the Golden Age, from Bob Montana or Harry Lucy. They chose to use a cover that has a double meaning that I don't think that some people may disagree with me. I don't think the people at Archie Comics realized that Archie was saying something that could have another connotation, which would cause kids to laugh in a snarky way at it, and 60-year-olds to laugh at it as well. I don't know. But I think the price of that original book is so high now. Yikes, I can never afford it. So get the fake facsimile. And we'll be able to see how Archie does their facsimiles. That's, right now, DC is doing facsimiles far better than Marvel. I hope this isn't a fad like 3D movies, this facsimile thing. I hope it keeps going because it's the only way that normal people like us can afford these big comic books and actually read them and enjoy them. It's not, no, prices are too high. Okay, isn't that amazing? Okay, fantastic. Okay. Okay. I bought this when it came out at Lone Star Comics, first issue of Moon Knight. It was just was a cool thing then. Moon Knight was the new cool thing. And recently, during the pandemic, the prices of this book went up because there was a TV series coming out. The TV series, in my opinion, was terrible. And then the prices gone down? They might have. I don't know. This was supposed to be Marvel's Batman, and it's a little bit of the Shadow mixed in. But now I understand they've changed the whole concept up, and he's more like a mentally ill character. And I think that's how he was portrayed in the TV series. That I couldn't stand it. You know. Then they started a new series. I always hated it when a character would start a new series. The first one, who did that first? Was it Man Thing? Just started over with issue one for no particular reason. Now it's done every 7, 8 issues. It seems like there's a new Spider-Man #1, new X-Men #1. I think it's ridiculous, and it makes it very, very difficult for me now, and almost impossible for people in future generations to be able to figure out, you know, what's what. But people like those issue #1s, I guess. Why am I in this box? What am I trying to file? Okay. Probably Moon Knight. What? That box. I thought I filed this comic under M for because it was originally it was called The Monster of Frankenstein, but maybe I file it now under F. I'm thinking I'm not seeing it. I'll show key issues for those of you that are here for key issues. Here's the first issue of Ms. Marvel, which they didn't have confidence in it, so they put Spider-Man's cast there, hoping that they would boost sales. Just like the first issue of Spider-Man, they put the Fantastic Four on the cover with them to help Spider-Man sales because Fantastic Four was a proven seller. Um, that's if they had a different actress playing her. Well, now she's called Captain Marvel. If they had a different actress playing her and they used that costume, I think the movie would have been more successful, in my opinion. They kept changing her costume, I think. Let's see. But it was a fun comic. It was oh yeah, okay. So they they cover up her midriff by issue #11. And issue 20, I remember buying this like it was yesterday in that summer day at Lone Star Comics. They change her costume up completely here, issue 20. I don't have many issues of the Nom. It was a comic book done for Marvel by, I believe, by people that had been in Vietnam. And it was about the experience. Of course, it was a realistic comic, except, at one point they showed how the Marvel superheroes in the 60s had been in Vietnam. Of course, we know that Iron Man had his origins in Vietnam. Of course, in the Robert Downey Jr. movie, they updated it and make it the Middle East. But originally, the injury, his heart injury and everything, happened in Vietnam, and he was in a Vietnamese prison camp. How about that? New Gods. Uh, well, I have issue 10. I don't have the first 9. Then they canceled that. They brought it back later. after Kirby had left. That's kind of kicking sand in Kirby's face. Um, then later they start reprinting all of Kirby's New God stuff. I got several copies of this. I don't think this is worth much, but um, for those of you that are new to comic collecting, this is the difference. If you hear direct, some people care. This when you see the Spider-Man head, that means it was sold in a comic shop. It was sold direct distribution to the comic shop where they couldn't return it. The barcode like this, it was sold to like a 7-Eleven or a drugstore. It was in a regular store, but where there are people other than just nerds like us. And so if it has the barcode, it is it later on it becomes more valuable because more and more comic books are only sold in comic stores, and so there's fewer new, what they call newsstand copies. And there's also a difference at the top. The direct distributed comic, it has what looks like an M, and this is the regular newsstand. Yeah. Either way, they're equally ugly, having a box on the cover. Okay, New Mutants. Nothing to see here. Oh, oh, here's New Mutants 98, the first appearance of Deadpool. Guys, tell me what condition this is in. You give me your humble opinion. I'll show you all the corners. You know, are there? It looks like spine ticks, but that's actually part of the ad on the back cover. This is not a rolled spine. It's just not printed exactly. First appearance of Deadpool. It's an ugly cover. I mean, it really is ugly. You look at it from a distance, it's like, where's Deadpool? You can't even really tell what's going on. And Deadpool is like real tall with like women's legs, long legs. It looks like a deer or something that's been stretched out. Uh, Not very good artwork. And I don't, that may be one of, I doubt I have more than 4 or 5 comic books in this collection that have Deadpool in them. Deadpool is not a character that I was ever aware of. You know, it's just that was not my time period with comics. I was still reading comics, but I was buying older comics or I was buying independent comics. That period of the explosion of the X-Men. I liked the X-Men when it was when it was one comic, but when it was 40 different titles, I just haven't been really a big fan from the 1990s on. Really, from the mid 80s on. Uh, John Goris, the Nam sequences of the Watchmen were interesting. Yeah, um, the uh, yeah. I guess you're talking about the comic and not the movie. The movie uses the comic like a storyboard, but I think Zack Snyder is not a very creative person. He's able to take what other people do and like take a comic book panel and stage it and film it to look exactly like pretty much exactly like that comic panel, and then people say you're a genius, but no, you're just taking someone else's composition and everything and just putting it on film. His problem is he doesn't think creatively, and especially in the choice of music, because when you have Dr. Manhattan lumbering in and destroying the Viet Cong, he chooses to use the most obvious musical choice. Flight of the Valkyries, because it was used in Apocalypse Now, and it's like you could have gotten a better song. I mean, it would have been really cool if if that song hadn't already been used in Apocalypse Now back in 1980. And what else did he mess up with? Well, the opening song, "The Times They Are Changing" by Bob Dylan, is just too obvious a choice for the theme to the Watchmen. His choices are too obvious. New Mutants, big deal. Gosh, sure, a lot of crappy comics in my collection. I like this. Look at this. Reprints of Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Look at this Jim Steranko cover. Even though he quit comics, he would come back and do these covers from time to time in the early 70s. And I think it was getting him free ads in the comic to sell his magazine and his history of comics. Yeah, these are reprints from Strange Tales. Yeah, Strange Tales. Strange. I've got two copies of this one. It's okay. This one's in better shape, so this one's going to go on the spinner rack back behind me. Um, think about this. It's Jack Kirby pencils and Jim Steranko inks. That's incredible. Here's number 4. And then they reprinted the Steranko stuff later on. It's a wraparound cover. Ooh, not in very good shape, man. Wish I had more copies of Night Nurse. I but this came out right at the tail end of the pandemic. It's like a real thick comic that reprints the Night Nurse books, real thick. Oh, someone in the chat. Let's see. John Gora says, I concur. Problem with Zack Snyder is he's a bit too much of a normie and not enough of an original artist voice. But he found success in it, go figure. Yeah, because he's someone that was like, well, Batman and Superman, well, we got to see who wins. We got to have them fight. And it's like, no, they're friends. You don't do that. Or to have Pa Kent, Superman's adopted father, tell him, well, yeah, maybe you should have let that bus full of kids just drown. It's better that than let people know you've got this power. It's like, what kind of fatherly advice is that? Ridiculous. Um, okay, this character was originally called Ghost Rider, and so when they did these reprints in the 70s, they called him Knight Rider to not confuse people with the motorcycle riding flaming skull guy. So I wish I had more of these too. This is number 5. But you don't see them very much out in the wild, and that's the way it goes. Man, I thought I had the first issue of Nova. I guess I don't. I guess I have issue 6 on 08. Oh, you know what? I'm getting Nova mixed up with Firestorm. Firestorm, I was on that from issue 1 on. But Nova and Firestorm. Nova was Marvel, Firestorm was DC, and that was right the same time period. They both started these two teenage heroes. I get them mixed up. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Zack Snyder's a normie. Yeah. This was a Kirby book that you used to see pictures of in the house ads, and it was really kind of disturbing. That image is a very disturbing image, to a second grader seeing that. It's like, that's what the heck? What the heck is that? Uh, OMAC, One Man Army Corps. Here's issue 2. Um, this is the Um, I really wish some of you would help us out with this GoFundMe. Any of you, there's like two people watching. I figure someone will watch later. Um, yeah, I don't like that the GoFundMe address keeps changing though. It's like that's the current address of it. There's you don't want to see OMAC. OMAC. All these obscure comics that then they had Omega the Unknown, another comic that didn't last. Um, this was a direct distributed comic. You couldn't find this on the newsstand. You could only get this at comic stores. The Omega Men. One of the issues introduces that a Lobo character that people seem to like. Outlaw Kid, Outsiders. This is they started another Spider-Man title back in the late '70s. This, or yeah, about '76, I think this came out. Spider-Man had his title, The Amazing Spider-Man, and then they came up with this Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, and it was supposed to focus more on Peter Parker and his personal life and less on Spider-Man as a superhero. And then he also had Marvel Team Up, where he teamed up with another hero, and then there was Marvel Tales, which reprinted the older '60s Spider-Man stories, and those were the only four titles that came out of Spider-Man during that time period. So, I always liked this cover. Paul Galassi. Look at that. Last night, I was there's all the man. Some of the this guy Jim Mint Collectibles is all over the place now. He's this Sticky Goose guy on YouTube roasted him, and then he did a self-reflective video and on his channel, and then he did a video saying I'm quitting working with Comic Tom, and I'm going to go back to my roots and sell my big giant mansion and try to, live more humbly and go back to showing statues. And then one of his old partners on YouTube came out and started dishing stories about it. It's just all of a sudden he's all over YouTube. But last night I said, well, let me watch this video of Comic Tom. I had to put my glasses on. I could do my Comic Tom impression. And Comic Tom was explaining well, it was the last time Jim meant, they're still friends, but he's going to leave doing that with the sponsorship or what. I don't know exactly, but Comic Tom and Jim Mint were talking, and they were talking about John. They kept saying John Romita. And I'm thinking, man, these are like some of the biggest comic book people on YouTube, and they're saying John Romita. It's not John Romita. Have I been mispronouncing it my entire life? And it's John Romita. So I went and and looked up someone that would know more about comics than they do. Oh shoot. One reason maybe that fundraiser I'm having might be to get a new improved tripod that just you guys just fell to your doom. Um, oh, I don't know. I was almost 99.9% sure I'm right. I've always heard John Romita. It's obvious. John Romita? What is that? And so I think I looked it up. I think I went to a video by that comic tropes guy, and he was saying John Romita, and yeah, it's John Romita. What? Anyway, they almost because he said John Romita, and then Jim Mint repeated John Romita. It's like, what are you talking? They were talking about a Daredevil cover where he was fighting Spider-Man and had art by John Romita. It's like, oh no, it's John Romita. Come on. What are people talking about here, man? Gotham City. Those guys are losing so much in comic money they have to resort to drama videos. Yeah, it does seem like it's working. They're. I mean, nobody cares about comics, especially not new comics. I mean, I guess there's somebody out there that cares about. Somebody must be. I need sometimes I need to be quiet. You know, my good friend Kevin runs a comic store, and I'm saying nobody cares about new comics. Comic books are a bunch of crap. And that's his business. I need to shut up. But I need to say, no, there's a lot of great stuff coming out. There actually is a lot of great stuff coming out worthy of you going to a comic store. It just because there's great magazines like Monster Bash, and there are some great comics coming out. There are actually, just not Marvel and DC. So I was looking at Gotham City's latest video. Gotham City Comics has videos where he shows the new upcoming comics, and today's new comic day. And he was showing the new DC comics, and it seems like there were must have been 10 different Batman comics coming out today. Is it Batman Week or Batman Day or something like that? So something was going on. Okay. I need to pull out the F box. I also need to go see if the humans have shown up yet to work on the house. Okay, we're putting this on the counter. Okay. I'm gonna put myself over here. Ooh, this box is pretty heavily packed. Okay. Only thing I could possibly need to put into this box would be Doctor Strange. It starts with the Defenders and it goes through. I'm gonna pull some out of the back here. Yeah, this is where Doctor Strange is. This is a Doctor Strange reprint book. This I would highly recommend. This. And inside, it's reprints of the early 70s stuff. But it's worth getting. Okay, so then Doctor Strange. This is a later period Doctor Strange comic from comics for $1.50. So, nice. Okay, it's 45, 38, okay, 37. This is a recent comic I got just because I like the cover, even though it's obviously terrible. They're going to replace him. Um, well, the art inside isn't that bad. But it's not that good either. Okay, so I only added one book to this box, so maybe I won't move any of these to the next box. Okay. Oh man, I put the wrong lid on that box down there. Oh, that sucks. Gotta move them all now. Oh boy. Oh man. Boy. I'll do that later. Okay. This starts with Doom Patrol, the early 70s, reprints of the 60s. Now you see the early 70s, DC and Marvel were in a competition to outproduce each other to come up with as many titles to put out each month so they could take up more room on the spinner rack than the other. So they started doing a lot of reprint books that were easy to produce. Doom Patrol, Doom Patrol, Doom Patrol. Doorway to Nightmare. This is Doorway to Nightmare. You know, I'm going to pull Doorway to Nightmare out because I started pulling DC horror out, and this is such a short run. I might as well pull it out and give more room in this box. Doom. This was a great movie. I think, other than the fact that the main hero had like a perm that looked like the greatest American hero, it had great great, I thought, stop motion animation of a dragon. And it was, I think, a Disney movie, but it was surprisingly violent for a Disney movie. Okay, Electra. Oh, yeah. Remember when this book was during the pandemic became really hot because there was an Eternals movie coming out. And then again, it turned out to be a terrible movie. Okay, fantasy masterpieces. Firestorm. First issue special. Flash. Didn't I need to file a? Thought I had to. No, I think I filed that a few days ago. I had these books out this boxes out the other day. Flash. Oh, this is a really fun comic. Let's see if I have the whole run. 4-star spectacular. It has an Ernie Chan cover. It's reprints of old Silver Age stuff. Oh, man. Somebody. Yeah. By the way, it's the Gratu Orloff show. This is the one everyone seemed to like the most in the last video. So I'll start using that. What am I doing? Uh, okay. I thought I had some more bags. Do I? I just wish they could have produced comics the same size forever instead of having different bags and boards, different sizes. Horrible. F this. That stands for forget this. Okay. Okay. So Frankenstein is not here. And this this Frankenstein Man from Uncle comic. So, and it's not under M and it's not under F. Oh, here's Freedom Fighters. Boy, that was a great comic. I'm going to pull from Beyond the Unknown too. That means that I already pulled Frankenstein. It has to be. So I got to look back over here. Because I was separating out, I'm trying to separate out Marvel and DC horror from the superhero comics. KH and her vice president pick, wow, says Gotham City Comics. Those two would destroy what's left of America overnight. Yeah. Yeah, that new guy, yeah. Yeah, horrible. Really dizzy. What does that mean? Share stream. Share stream. I don't know what that means. I remember him and his snitch hotline during C-19 destroys local businesses. Yeah, and when the riots were happening, his daughter leaked to social media when the National Guard was going to come in so that they could finish all their, they knew how much time they had to finish their looting of Minneapolis. Yeah, total says he has some quote at some point that says, well, what some people call socialism is what others just call neighborliness. So he's now Minnesota, isn't that the same state that elected Jesse Ventura? It's quite a difference. Apparently, I don't know. Minnesota, I don't know. There, I don't know much about those Minnesotans. What am I doing? This says, okay. This Mandrake comic, was that from King Comics? Someone could look that up. Charlton. Okay. Oh, Vault of Evil. Girl stuff. Okay. Um, let's see. Iron Man, Justice League, Kid Colt. A two. Gotham City says his wife liked the smell of their city burning. These people are evil, yeah. Jesse Ventura was a better governor, yeah, obviously. Jesse the Body Ventura is great, Apex, yeah. Yeah, but how does the same group of people elect both those people unless the population has shifted there considerably? Um, I'm you're kind of wondering why that might be, but we won't talk about that. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. I can file this issue of Vault of Evil number 17. No, it's number 11. Let's see. How about that? I already have an issue of Vault of Evil number 11. So I bid on this for $5 from England Teens I Love Comics auction, and I already had it. So I'll put this up on my comic book. In fact, I have 3 copies of it. No. Let's see. Vault of Evil 1. Do you want to see them? Probably. That's probably why you're watching. What are people saying here? Let's see. You guys are so far away, man. Um, Great Man Cave Grotto. Yeah, that room is coming together. Any specials at your store this week? Specials every day, says Gotham City Comics. Apex says, nice. Grotto, do you have a second collector room? I have Vault of Evil number 1. I Love Comics is a good channel, yeah. The hotel has many rooms, says Kevin at Gotham City Comics. Yeah, yeah, this is the room where I put the comics. If that makes it a man cave, then I guess it's a man cave. I've got many caves within this structure. Um, but isn't that amazing? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. This is my copy of Vault of Evil number 1 that I got when I was in 3rd grade from the spinner rack. Let's see if I've got the full run. I don't really know. This is issue 2. That one is not a child copy. That's why it's got a price tag on it. So I do not have 3. I have 4. This is my childhood copy. Number 5. That green sticker tells me I got it at Duncanville Books. One of the only stores I've ever seen that actually had a stock of this kind of book. Issue 6. Okay, that one was my childhood copy. This is one I got later. I'm missing 7 and 8. Here's 9. Here's 10. We're still in the 20-cent era. There's another copy of 10. Then there's two copies of 11 and one I just put on the rack. Um, oh well, 12. I'm missing 13. Here's 14. This one I had. This one I bought when I was a kid. 15. Again, the little round dot sticker tells me this is from Duncanville Books. I got it later. Um, 16. I'm laughing at this wedding. So I got two copies of that. This one's not very good shape. 17. I could use a bit of an upgrade on 17, but 18. And another copy of 18 that was probably bought by accident because I forgot I had it. The ones I've had since I was a kid, they're solidified in my mind. I know I had that issue, but then I always think, well, maybe I can upgrade it. And and then there are ones like this that I don't remember this cup from when I was a kid. So that's a more recent purchase, 19. I'm missing 20, 21, and 22. Here's 23. And another copy of 23. And then I go to War is Hell. I'm missing War is Hell number 1. Um, this is the first one I bought as a kid, War is Hell number 10. And they had this, death as their as the guy that kind of tells you the stories. So in that sense, it seemed like they were kind of trying to imitate DC's Weird War Tales. Yeah, they changed the logo. That issue 15. Where is it? Okay, then it goes to Weird Wonder Tales, Where Monsters Dwell. Here's a reprinting of the Gratu story. I don't have the original Strange Tales with Gratu. I wish I did. I really should get that. Remember Killdozer, Theodore Sturgeon short story turned into a TV movie of the week and then into a comic book. That was a big deal to the kids in elementary school. Okay, this is Marvel Horror and Humor number 2. So there's another box somewhere around here, Marvel Horror number 1. I don't necessarily need that right now. Um, Iron Man. Okay, I was in this Iron Man box yesterday. Need the box before it for this Hulk, which I think I was in that Hulk box yesterday too. Okay. Wonder if those workers are out there. What are people saying here, man? Welcome to Orloff's Collector Castle. Ginger specific cave. Oh, let's see those skywalled horror mood gems. I think they're over there. Magazine-sized comics or comics too. Absolutely, they are. There's people that don't collect them. I don't understand that. I miss the spinner racks. We need to bring them back and encourage kids to read again. Yeah. Well, high chip crude. All we need is um, what do they? Electromagnetic pulse to wipe out all electronics, and then maybe kids will go back to reading. But for right now, they're never going to give up their modern cell phones. That they like to stare at all the time and scroll. Because when you go in the mall, all you see are kids, scrolling on their phones. Looking down, scrolling their phones to see what's going on. And they play video games. Video games have replaced comics. Apex says, I have War is Hell #1, and he remembers the Killdozer movie. Good. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Doom Patrol. This is I'm putting the wrong lids on these boxes. It's going to create a problem. Defenders the Doom Patrol. DC Comics presents to Defenders. Marvel team up the Punisher. Oh no. I'm getting too many boxes out at the same time and putting the wrong lids on them. Oh my gosh. Defenders the Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol. Oh, there it is. Marvel Bronze Age for DC. Oh, yes. This must be the box that has the Frankenstein comics. Creatures on the Loose, Dead of Night, Venture into Fear, Journey into Mystery. There it is. I'm going to pull some of these out and put them in the other Marvel box. This is getting cramped. Um, um, this is, in case anyone wants to come on, this is the the link to come on. Which, and if anyone, if anyone is still there, this here, in the, if you could help the show out with this GoFundMe, I would appreciate it. 330D074F. Monster of Frankenstein. That's the string there. Oh shit. I mean, shoot. Leave that up there. Okay. Okay. Yes, Apex is right. The comic is the Monster of Frankenstein. And I always put it into, always label it, always alphabetize it under M. This is my childhood copy of the Monster of Frankenstein #1. There's issue 2, but I didn't get that one as a kid. I got that later. I did this one I've had since I was a kid, which seems like if you had a comic book wall, if you put this next to the House of Secrets that had the first appearance of Swamp Thing, this would go well. Because both of them, the monster's kind of looking through a window at a red-haired girl. I don't know. 4. Of course, I don't have that issue. I have a reproduction of it. Here's 4. Um, Another copy of 4. 5. This art just really grabbed you when you were a second grader, third grader. But it didn't last. Eventually, the artists would change, and they changed the name to the Frankenstein monster. But so I imagine most people file this in their collection under F, but I'm sticking to my guns, filing it under M. Okay. I'm trying to put an issue number 11 in here. Watch me already have it. There's 10. Oh, yes, I already had it. Yeah, I already had it. But this was a gift from Jambo, and it looks to be in better shape than my childhood copy, so it's an upgrade. Okay, it looks like I am missing issue 12, and then I have issue 13. I have 2 copies of 13. This one's in crummy condition, so I'm going to put it on the spinner rack. There's a 14. I guess you want to see it. There's 15. It looks like I might just be missing one issue. 16. 17. Was 17 the last issue? I don't know. Make sure you shop at Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. Or give them a call. Let's see. 3 or 5. What am I? Oh. The Frankenstein book goes over here. Yeah, Skywall. I see the box there. But I think I'd rather do the Skywall on a show that isn't live because you get better resolution. I love the Mike Plugard as well. Getting my car analyzed and seatbelt fixed, says Apex. 18 issues of Frankenstein Monster. What did I have 17 or did I have issue 18? Where's my Frankenstein Monster 18? Oh, so I didn't have 18, huh? I don't know. Um, I guess I missed a couple of issues. But the early issues were the best, which is probably why I was buying it only sporadically in later years, and then I later, as an adult, filled in the collection. Okay, the next thing I'm trying to file is this issue of House of Secrets. It could be in this box. I don't think so. Probably be the next one. Oh, look at this. I got this in first grade. Tell me what condition you would say this is in. This is my comic from first grade. I guess I should have a backing board in with it. It's a pretty valuable book. Do I have one that fits? It didn't used to be that you would have backing boards are a newer invention. I mean, I've been collecting comics since 1969, so I remember at Lone Star Comics they used to say, "Do you want a backing board with that?" I just say, "What do you mean? What is that?" I think they wanted to charge a little bit extra for the backing board, but I would always refuse. Okay. At least it's in a my light. Lube does horror right, yeah. Yeah, it's probably good condition. I was owned by a second grader that took good care of it. Wanted dead and alive. Ghost Rider. That was a good comic there for a while. I didn't I didn't ever read all those '90s versions of Ghost Rider. Um, it was kind of weird as a kid. You're seeing Satan on the cover of a comic book, and it's not like Hot Stuff from Harvey. It's like and then issue three. These three I got as a kid, and then looks like I wasn't around for issues four, five, and six, and seven, because seven I got later, just a few years ago. Eight is definitely a childhood comic. I remember this one. And then, yeah, looks like I'm not back until issue 17, and this one I might have gotten later. So I think the artist changed or something. There's 23. I don't know. Maybe I was just buying other stuff. There's 24. We're already up into the. We're already up to about when Star Wars came out now. Uh, you don't get to see all these Ghost Riders. You've seen them a million times. Then they restarted the comic. I think it might have been here. The end of Ghost Rider 81. Then they started it again. Um, in the 90s, they reprinted the early issues. But, some of them had glow in the dark covers. I don't know if that one glows or not. I can't tell. Ooh, one of the oldest comics in my collection. It's Ghosts. This really should be Ghosts. Their issues are there. Yeah, I'm questioning my whole, pulling out all the horror comics. So I got to get bags and boards, man. There's Godzilla #1. It's not even bagged and boarded. I guess that's valuable because they're doing facsimiles of it. I'd pull out all my DC and Marvel horror if I had more short boxes, and it's probably not a wise thing to do right now. Maybe I'll pull out these giant-sized chillers, though. Okay, I'm getting distracted. Okay, Green Lantern, Gru. Okay, this goes to Gru. Yes, I met Mike Plug in 1996 at Cartoonist Northwest meeting in Seattle. A great guy and a wonderful artist, as he picks. 1970s, Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider is the best. I followed him on the Champions title too. Yeah, me too. Godzilla #1 is naked and without a board. Oh my, yeah. Well, um, contribute to the GoFundMe. Actually, that's going to go to medical bills and some other problems we've been having. But um, um, I don't know. Irresponsible comic collector. What the heck time is it, man? Um, House of Secrets. House of Secrets is what? Oh, here's House of Secrets. Okay. And this Human Torch. Gotta hang this wacky package plaque up on the wall. House of Mystery. Elvira's House of Mystery. See, here's a reproduction of that House of Secrets cover I was telling you about. If if that was right next to that Frankenstein comic where he's bursting through the window, I think it would look cool. Wonder if anyone else has ever done that before. Put those two together. House of Secrets. There's the issue number 100. Look how wonderful it really captures the EC Comics feel, the Bernie Wrightson art. Anyway, I got lots of those, but I'm trying to file in this issue 111 that I just got from Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. And here's 113. This was sent to me as a present from Graphic Man back 3 years ago, right before the four color fossils started. 112. It's bag. And here's, I remember buying this one off the newsstand. This is a childhood copy, so that's 109. And then 111 will go right in there in between those. Now, the next thing is this is reprints of the 1940s Human Torch. And I guess this is my earliest Bronze Age Hulk. I think it might be the first Bronze Age one, if it's the because Bronze Age to me starts when the strip that says Marvel Comics Group at the top goes across. That's 145. That could be the first one. See, here's 146, and see how they have 20 cents real big there. That indicates they have just switched to 20 cents. And to me, the Bronze Age starts when comics went to 20 cents. This one, when I was in fourth grade, I had a T-shirt of this. This was on the shirt just like this, and I gave that shirt away. It didn't fit me anymore, obviously, but I shouldn't have given that away. They used to they had these. I also had a they had a Submariner one with Doctor Doom on the cover, and I had that Hulk one, and I had a Captain America, like the way it began, like Captain America shirt too. They also sold one of Luke Cage Hero for Hire #1, but I didn't get that as a kid. Hulk. Okay, there's the 70s Human Torch comic, which I bought as a kid, who had just discovered the Fantastic Four. They would be one um, reprint from Strange Tales in there, and there would be one Golden Age story in that comic. It wasn't original stories. So I'll put this 90s reprint after. Oh, I already have a copy of this in there. Well, I'll put another one in there. Okay. Well, I got a few things organized. Boy. Let's go see if those people have shown up yet. So let me see what Wi-Fi I'm using. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm on the right Wi-Fi. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. This GoFundMe address may change tomorrow, but if you're watching this today, I don't know what day today is. It should be good today. I'll keep you posted on that. Shoot. They're supposed to start between 7 and 9, and there's still nobody here. Let me make sure I'm still on the right Wi-Fi. Okay, the sound should be working now. Okay. Okay. This issue of Girls Love. Well, I have a little section of romance comics in front of the. Okay, that's 180. Here's 146. 180. That's different from girls' romances. Okay. So, sometimes when a box needs some, is a little too empty, I put in some junk comics in the back to keep the, like, I don't even know what this book is or why I own it. It's some kind of anime manga book. They were 11. No, I don't, um, I don't know what that is. Um, this book's more interesting. It's a catalog from Kitchen Sink with a Will Eisner Spirit cover. This is, this is worth putting somewhere. I don't know what Skin and Bones is. I guess that's okay. Put that stuff over here. Be filed somewhere else. Madame Mirage, best of 2000 AD. These are things that go over there. Independent stuff. Oh, here's a Smokey Bear. Smokey the Bear. Terrible condition, Smokey the Bear, but Smokey the Bear nonetheless. Okay. So this is the box I started putting DC horror in. So if I had more short boxes, I'd put House of Mystery, House of Secrets in here. But for now, I'll put these issues of From Beyond the Unknown in here. And these issues of Doorway to Nightmare. Yeah. Some of the, this is a really old bag and it feels grubby. That's what I, is it, I'm going to get rid of this bag. That's what happened. Every one of my comics was bagged and boarded at one time. And I took them out um, because I thought something bad's going on to these bags. This was decades ago. And I haven't gotten them all replaced yet. Need to put new bags and boards on these plops as well. Plops, one of my favorite comics. I just, I need to buy some supplies, bags and boards. That's just no getting around that. Okay. What was that? Okay. Okay. I saved this Dark Horse Insider thing for the Don Martin art in the cover. This is a inside image announcing that there's going to be a Wildcats Saturday morning cartoon. Isn't that exciting? Why, my goodness, it's my childhood Power Records. It's a book and record. The action comes alive as you read. You can always tell the original dialogue. See the original, that's original lettering, and then that's badly done new lettering to simplify the story, or, if they're talking about stuff that happened in a previous issue, they change it. Like this panel here is all original dialogue. This panel here is all new dialogue, also to make it fit on this 45 RPM record, which you youngsters call vinyls. Anyway, so in the early 70s, this is a type of entertainment we had before VCRs and things like that. They also did horror comics. This is the adaptation of that first issue of Monster of Frankenstein. They did this Spider-Man Man-Wolf issue. Fantastic Four. This Captain America. This is so ingrained in my mind at times of great stress, like when I was having that laser surgery on my eyes because I wore real thick glasses. I became very terrified because you're conscious while they're doing it, and I remember in my mind it was just like dialogue from this record going over and over again, trying to calm me down. And a phoenix shall arise. I remember I was saying that in my head. Oh, scary, man. The Star Trek is not from a comic book. It's not the time Gold Key was doing Star Trek stories, but this isn't from the Gold Key comic. This is art that's produced for this Power Records set, and it's not bad art. Like the coloring there, look at that, the yellow glow on the tenant there. Um, some of these were original stories. I don't know. Um, yeah, the Superman story was done for Power Records because in the 70s they didn't have giant panels like that. They do now. Um, and sometimes they got some decent. Yeah, see, there's just too many giant panels they're trying to get away with. And um, some Neil Adams did some art for some of these. That's not Neil Adams there. Where is it on the cover? Man, I know he did. Okay, this is definitely Neil Adams doing this Batman comic, and it's not just brought over from the comic like the Marvel ones were. It was done for this book and record set. You just tell that's not the way a splash page would look in the Bronze Age. The Golden Age would have those big full page pictures on splash pages. And when Planet of the Apes was done, these were all produced for Power Records, which was a division. It was really Peter Pan Records, it's just another name. They had some great artwork, and Arvid Knudsen and Associates did the artwork. You see it listed right under Planet of the Apes. It's the artwork was very good. The voices, especially the guy that did Charlton Heston's voice, he was a pretty funny over actor. Um, he also is the same guy that did Captain America's voice. A lot of the same people with the voices. This Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Now, Beneath the Planet of the Apes had been a comic book before in gold. There was a Gold Key adaptation when the movie came out, but this is not just from that. This is again that Alfred Knudsen and Associates, and it's really nice artwork. And it's when the mutants reveal their faces, it's like horrifying. Let's find that. Yeah, look at that. It's not like and of course at the end, of course you've seen Beneath the Planet of the Apes if you're watching this channel. When the Earth blows up, they actually show it happening as opposed to just the camera fading out. That was Beneath. Escape was also done. Same art group, Alfred Knudsen and Associates. I'm assuming that this art came from whoever Alfred Knudsen was hiring. I bet they were from the Philippines because the art looks like that great 1970s Filipino art that you would see in comics. They didn't do Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. I think maybe because it was too violent, but they did Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Um, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes is oh nice art. Was mostly riots and actually when it was shown, the it was PG rated, but the version they put out on DVD had some scenes added into it that I think would have made it an R. Um, People getting shot in the head and stuff, and then this isn't from my childhood. This one's not in very good shape, and it doesn't have the record. So, but I got this for nothing, somewhere last couple of years. So that's my collection, Power Records 45. Well, no, I have some 45s that don't have records with them that are just in little sleeves. And then I have Power Records albums. I was really into Power Records back in the back in the old days, man. Oh, shit. So how are you guys doing? These people still haven't arrived, man. A little disconcerting. I might go downstairs. Let's see what's going on. Well, I'm starting to make some progress in here. I think I have made a little. Thanks to you guys tuning in, and I appreciate those of you, the 11 of you that donated. And seriously, God bless you because it really did help. And at this point, I don't know if anyone else is gonna contribute. It'd be nice if you did. If not, just say a prayer for us. I don't. I kind of don't think at this point anyone else is going to contribute because the times are rough, man. Everybody's needing help. But I'm just worried. Yeah, well, never mind. You don't care. I mean, I didn't mean it that way. I mean, it's like it's my own problems, not yours. God damn it. Really been getting dizzy lately. It gets too hot up here, man. Wait. It's in this box. It's labeled fanzines. There's Squatrant. Foam. Yeah, it is fanzines. Alter Ego. How about that? How about that? Well, okay, I guess I'll see you guys.